believe in things which goes against logic and rationality and reason, and they just believe, yeah, God exists and God doesn't exist. That's my God.
Yeah. But can I ask you this though? Can God do anything though? Well, let me start by saying, is God all powerful?
God has power over all things. Yes. So in that sense, God is all powerful, meaning has power over all things. There's nothing greater than him in power, more powerful than him in any way, shape or form.
Right,
so when we say he's all powerful, he has or possesses power and ability, and there's no limitation and restrictions of that power, and nothing can overpower him.
Right, so he has no limitations.
Yeah, his power has no limits, if you want to consider it that way. It's when we talk about power, it's perfect in that description. So there's no deficiency in that power. There's no restrictions, limits, or deficiencies. We say he's free from any deficiencies and weaknesses in the attributes that God has. Having the ability of power or having abilities, we say there is no weakness or deficiencies and limitations in that.
Right. My view, I'll look at it as this, God is all powerful and he has no limits. So if he's all powerful and he has no limits, then he can do anything.
When you say anything, so let's understand what you mean by anything. When God does an action, you have to categorize what these actions that are possible to happen in reality and actions that are impossible to happen in reality.
But if he's all powerful, then nothing will be impossible for him, isn't it?
No, that's what you think, that's by definition it is. But whenever, for example, if I were to say to you, in your conception of God, having all the power, can he create a God exactly like him?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
And how is that exactly like him? Because did he have a beginning?
No, God. No, he had no beginning.
Good. So when you create something, would it have a beginning or would it have no beginning? The moment you create it, it will have a beginning. So when you say, can God create a God like him with no beginning, it becomes nonsensical, because whenever you create something, it has a beginning. So how can you create something with no beginning like God? So you can answer that question now. God having all the power, do you entertain this understanding that he can bring about a creator like him exactly because he's got the power? You will say,
well, he did in a sense, because he created Jesus. Well, actually, no, he didn't create Jesus. Jesus was begotten from him. Jesus came from the substance.
Yeah. So if we were to believe that, can he create another God like him, uncreated? Do you see the contradiction in the question? Can God create something that is uncreated?
So can he create an eternal being that existed from him?
Can he create something that is uncreated? It's a contradiction in terms. So that's why the power doesn't come in equation, because the whole thing that you're trying to bring is an impossible existence. So we need to really think about when you ask of God that he's able to do things, you have to understand whether this is something possible or impossible. God doesn't do things which are ungodly. God, in his nature, being God, he does things which befits his nature, and that's our position, and I'm sure that's your position too.
But also, in that sense, so then I could say that God is limited then? Or?
That's not limited. That's what God is. The moment you overstep that, you bring God into being non-God or something impossible or contradictory. We have to understand what we are talking about. If we say God is eternal and everlasting, then somebody saying, can God cease to exist if he wanted to? It's a meaningless question. It's a rhetoric. Because you affirm at one hand, God is everlasting with no end. Then how can you affirm that he can cease to exist? While you affirm that he has no end, and yet you want to have him an end. Contradictions again. These kind of things is not applicable to God, because God is by his nature what he is. By asking questions that will go against his nature will not be a meaningful question.
Okay, but then I would say that maybe then God can create another eternity, and then maybe create another eternal being somehow, if he's all powerful.
No,
because
whatever God creates will have a beginning. it might have a longer end or no end, but it will have a beginning. Like you and I, we will have no end according to our beliefs, right? Our soul will live on, either in heaven or hell. Yeah? So in that sense, we have an eternal life, but we don't have pre-eternal existence. We had a beginning. At one point, we did not exist at all. Okay? God brought us into existence. God brought the creation to existence. So the moment you say, can God create something that had no beginning, it's a meaningless question. It doesn't make any sense. That's why, can God do this and this, needs to be understood and in the question of what do we mean in our question? Is our question meaningful? So the best way to affirm is God does things which is godly. God does things which is according to his nature.
I would say it's a contradiction according to us, because we are subject to the laws of logic, laws of nature. So we are subject to contradictions, but not God. He's outside, because he's outside of his creation. Because God created the laws of logic,
Okay.
laws of nature. So he's not subject to them.
Yeah. So you're saying if we overstep these laws of logic, God can cease to exist if he wanted to.
No, what I'm saying is it's a conundrum. It's a difficult question to answer, but
This law of logic we are bound by, God is not according to you. Fine. So let's go beyond this human logic and then ask this question whether it's meaningful. In your conception of God, who is eternal and everlasting, can he cease to exist tomorrow and then he's no more anymore?
he can both exist and not exist at the same time.
No, he ceases to exist
No, that's all. Can he cease to exist?
and no more. That's it. There's no God. He's done with.
Existing is not actually an attribute, really.
Can he cease to exist, meaning his own existence, he makes it disappear? Because you believe God can do anything, that's part of an action according to you.
No, I said do anything in terms of attributes, in terms of
Doing things, right?
Yeah,
Can
not
he
see-
do on his life and have an end in his life?
but that's not an action. That's what I'm saying to you. It's not existing. Like,
Does he have life? Does he have life?
Who, God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can he stop his life?
Oh, can he stop his life? Okay,
Yeah.
that's something different.
Yeah.
Can he stop his life? I would say he can both stop his life and not stop his life at the same time.
Can he stop his life and that's it? He's no longer there anymore. Do you see the problem of
Yeah,
this
he
kind
could,
of thinking?
He could do that if he was to probably change his nature and then.
So once he does that, he will be no longer there, right?
No, but it,
Right. Was he everlasting in the beginning first? Was he everlasting to begin with?
Yeah, but having the ability to do that and actually doing it is two separate things. I'm saying he wouldn't do that. But I'm saying he could do it.
When you said he was everlasting to begin with,
Right.
what did it mean? That he would always be there? So now you're bringing in contradiction and saying he can change his nature and be not everlasting.
Existing from eternity means that he's existed from eternity. See, when we say he's everlasting, that means he will always last, he will always live. See, that's two different things.
Can he stop knowing?
Can he stop knowing?
Yeah.
I say he can both stop knowing and know at the same time.
It doesn't make any sense. Either he stops knowing and he doesn't know, or because he knows, because he has no deficiency, he knows everything and there's no stopping of his knowledge.
Well, okay, I'll say that he can stop knowing if he changed his nature. And then he would stop knowing. Yeah, he could do that if he was to change his nature.
Can he change his nature?
Yeah, he can. Because he's all powerful. See, remember I said could do doing it and choosing is two separate things. I'm saying he wouldn't do that, but I'm saying he could do that because he's all powerful.
So he can go against his nature because he has got the power.
Yeah.
So the power dominates over him. He doesn't dominate over the power, power dominates over him.
Not necessarily power to do with ability. He has the ability.
No, the ability dominates him. He doesn't dominate ability, you're saying.
No, he has control over his power. That's why he's got.
If he has control over his power, how can he then disempower himself and cease to exist, for example?
Because I say
and not know and not do things.
No, but again, it's due to having the ability. Having the ability to do it is not doesn't mean that it dominates him. It just means he has the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Having the power.
Yeah.
Because he has control over his power.
If he has
He's
control
got-
over his power, how can the power overpower him and he can cease to exist?
How he has his own will. He doesn't. Nothing overpowers him.
Okay. Do you understand what a necessary being is? Something that has
yeah.
to necessarily exist.
Yeah. Something that's unconditionally independent for us to exist. Yeah.
If we exist now,
a prerequisite.
something has to exist always. There's nothing in the entire imagination of the world where that necessary being will become non-existent, just because you exist today.
So then maybe we would, if he was to cease to exist, then we would probably cease to exist as well.
All your existence demonstrates there is a necessary existence. Has to be always there.
Yeah, for us to exist, yeah, it has to be there. But I'm not. That doesn't detract from the fact that he can stop existing. Because again, he's all powerful. If you say he can't do that, then you're limiting God. Really.
So
Does power mean having no power?
Say again, if
You are limiting God in the lower limit. You are meaning the powerfulness or ability to do something in a lower limit. Lower limit means mean things. Like we do not say that maybe you can do little bit of lifting a 5 kilo ball or ball of iron kind of thing. But you do not do that. Or a ant can do something, you do not do that. You know. So that does not mean that you are limited. Limited in the sense that your nature does not permit
you're
you.
talking about choosing to do something.
Yeah, yes, choosing to do something. But
That's
the
my
problem
point.
is that my understanding is that why do
He's
you
saying
say
that he can't do it.
You
I'm saying in fact, your point agrees with what I'm saying.
no.
Yeah.
Let me say.
That's a choice.
So you are
It's a
saying
choice.
that doing something mean or something very bad is powerfulness. I mean, is glory, is honor, and
Yeah.
the honorable ability.
Because if you have an all-powerful God, then He can do all things. That's what I'm saying, and
He
that
can.
means all things and all attributes.
So power means going against
all
honor or glory. Does power mean going against glory?
Power being going against glory. So if he was to
Does
use his-
power mean going against power, or does power mean having powerlessness?
but if he was to exercise his power, that would show his glory. So he's being glorified by using his power.
So if he loses all the power, does that mean that this is a show of his power? I mean,
Right,
the manifestation of his power.
So basically, you're saying, can God lose his power if he wanted to?
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Then,
lose all power.
then he's not powerful then.
Then all not powerful.
He's not all powerful. Do you understand what we're saying?
No, but that
Losing
means-
power is not a manifestation of your power. Power means you have the ability not to lose power. Just imagine, you say he's so all powerful, then he can be less than all powerful. That's not powerful, being powerful. All powerful is not to be less powerful. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Otherwise, you need not have any term powerful or powerfulness. Powerful or powerfulness. You should not distinguish these terms or attributes, whether powerfulness and powerlessness. You will not make any distinction, any difference. So
if I
using those terms.
if I said he was to get rid of his power, then is that the same thing? Losing power, get rid of it? Because that's a powerful thing to lose his power.
So that was power,
So this-
but being lost of all this power, is this godly act?
It would be a powerful act to lose his to get rid of his power.
Let's just,
Yeah,
so, to be wealthy is to have wealth. What you're saying is, to be wealthy is to get rid of all the wealth. To be powerful is to get rid of all the power. That's not what being powerful is. Being powerful
Which
is
is an asset.
being powerful is to possess that power, not to lose it. You're saying God exercises his power and he ceases to have that power. That's not being all powerful.
So, in my
Let me get you step by step. We want to understand what all powerful means. All powerful means was all the power. Let's understand something that is less than all powerful. Someone who's less than all powerful is there's certain things he cannot do. Someone who's even less all powerful is something less. We come to a point where it's 0% powerful. That 0% powerful is not all powerful. Do you agree?
yeah, if someone has 0% power,
It's not all powerful. So when God becomes devoid of any power, having 0% power, that's not being 100% powerful, all percent powerful.
but I'm saying to you that to diminish his power would be a powerful thing.
No.
And then,
If you diminish yourself to 0% power, that's not being in a position of all power.
but then, like I said, being able to do something and actually doing it is two separate things.
No,
though.
it's not about that. Even in the metaphysical concept-wise, being 0% powerful is not being 100% all-powerful.
That would be the outcome if he was to give up his power or diminish it.
Then he's not all-powerful.
Destroy.
Because an all-powerful means there will be never a case of 0% powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, but
Then the question doesn't arise, he can cease to exist.
what I'm saying to you is before we get to that, just that situation, if, like I said, if he can't do that, then he's not all powerful because he can't do all
No, I'm
things.
saying to say he can do is meaningless. We need to know what we're talking about. We have to have meaning in our
That,
discussions and questions and so on. If it's not meaningful, then it's just rhetorical things, mumbo jumbo, wishy-washy statements. The example, for example, I can give is
I think that's a lazy.
you have 5.5 wings that you fly with, or 3 wings that you fly with. You fly, right? 5.5 wings have you got, or 3 wings?
I think it's a non-answer what you're saying. I mean, I don't.
Is it meaningful? Is that question meaningful?
To have 500 wings.
No. You fly with 5.5 wings or 3 wings, I ask you. And the answer is? I gave you 2 options, 5.5 and 3 wings.
But there's 3 wings in. If I have 5 wings, then I have 3 wings. It's apart
Do you fly?
Well, I fly. No, I
Do you have wings?
don't. No.
Good. So when I ask you, how many wings do you fly with? 5.5 or 3?
This is a hypothetical, right?
It's a question.
I don't fly. No.
I didn't ask you, do you fly?
Right.
My question is, how many wings do you fly with? 5.5 or 3? It's a multiple choice question with 2 options only.
None.
The question,
because I don't fly.
then there is no option of none. The options only are 5.5 or 3.
For somebody who does fly wings, yeah.
No, you. I asked a question and I want an answer.
I said I don't fly though. I don't know.
But did I ask you, do you fly? In my question, I'm not asking you, do you fly? My question is straightforward, direct. How many wings do you fly with? 5.5 wings or 3 wings? You would say this question is meaningless. It doesn't require an answer because it's a faulty question. You're not going to talk about like I don't fly and so on and so on because you don't fly, we know that. Likewise, you can't ask this meaningless question about God, or God is so all-powerful, he can do this X, Y, and Z. Meaningless statements, rhetorics.
I will add that
it's meaningless to you.
Sorry, I will add that you can ask meaningless question, but never expect that whatever the answer be, you can have from this answer a consistent understanding or
It's not
conclusion.
meaningless to say that God is all powerful and that He can do all things.
All-powerful doesn't mean to have no power. You're contradicting.
I think
All
you're
powerful.
misunderstanding what I'm
No,
saying.
when you say all
When he
powerful,
loses all the power, he becomes he ceases to
Be all-powerful.
God,
Afterwards.
powerful God.
Yeah, I agree. After
Yeah.
that.
So then he is not God anymore.
he's not all powerful anymore.
But then, if he, like I said, if he can't get rid of his power, then he has limits.
Let's understand our all powerfulness. Does all powerfulness mean being less than all powerful?
Does all powerful mean no?
There you go.
Does all powerful mean less than?
Does all powerful means being less than all powerful? Does all knowledgeable means being less than all knowledgeable and becoming ignorant? It doesn't mean that. You have to reject the opposite.
We can come with all these hypothetical.
Not hypothetical. These are real
concepts,
because
but-
this is how we reject false conception of God.
No, as
In a,
you-
in, a, in a concept of God in which it says God is all knowledgeable and yet became ignorant, we reject that concept because it's meaningless.
That's another topic. But again, as your finite understanding, it'll be a contradiction. Because like I said, you're subject to the laws of non-contradiction.
That's how we are.
But God is not. That's what I'm saying. If God is subject to His own laws, then He wouldn't be God.
So you can believe in a God that exists and don't exist at the same time, right? So
You can-
basically,
yeah, you
so
can,
okay,
because
so basically,
it's not
basically, you cannot reject any conception of God made by anyone because you cannot use the logic of this world. If somebody says, I believe in a God that exists and doesn't exist at the same time, I believe in a monkey God, I believe in a rat God, I believe in a dinosaur God, you cannot reject it.
That's a version of God.
No.
That's not
You
part
cannot
and
reject that
subject.
concept of God. You cannot reject it.
That's to do.
Okay, okay.
That's not to do with ontology.
Shiva and Parvati, that's true God.
You're talking about versions of God. I'm talking about ontology.
I'm not talking about versions. I'm giving you a concept
Yeah,
of God.
A monkey. Monkey.
God the Father, husband and God the wife. Okay? And God, the son, Ganesh, half elephant, half man. I mean, how he came is a different story. So there's the three gods in there.
Hindu God, right? You're talking about.
If I said this is the real God,
Right?
why don't you believe in it?
No, because
How can you say no?
the real God, the Trinity Triune God, has revealed Himself to me through the Bible.
No, that's the other real God. Your God is not a real God. How do you know something is real or not real? What
don't-
makes,
Yeah. Can God be in those forms, Shiva, Parvati, and Ganesha?
Ganesh?
That goes against what I've been taught.
Why?
It's not about what goes
why,
against.
yeah, sorry. Why God cannot go in those forms?
In your belief,
Those forms.
Yes.
can God become a God which is Shiva, Parvati, and Ganesh, husband, wife, and son?
He could do.
Yeah. So maybe he's done it already. According to you, how do you know it's not the case?
Because my Bible says He wouldn't do that. That's the thing. and
No,
that's
it's
what-
not
that's
about.
my point,
How do you
that's
know
my whole point.
Bible is not a false book?
How do I know?
Can God make the Bible false and still give it to you? Yeah. So you could have done that already. How do you know it's true? According to you, God could have given a book called the Bible, knowing it's false, but He wants to make you believe it's true.
My God is not the author of confusion.
That's what you're
How do
discussing
you know?
about.
How do you know that God cannot create confusion?
When I say He can
Can
do
He not
these
create
things-
confusion? Is He not all powerful? Is He not all powerful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So He could have done exactly that. The Bible saying it's true, but while it's false, to create confusion.
I'm saying He wouldn't do that. When I say He can, say He can.
Why do you say He couldn't do that and you didn't do that?
Yes. How do you limit that God cannot be a confusion or cannot create confusion?
Wait, one sec. When I say that God can exist and not exist at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm not talking from a finite point of view. I'm talking about from His point of view.
Yeah, that's what we understood.
Outside of
That's what
laws
we
of
understood.
logic, because He can do it. And
So
I'm saying
outside the laws of logic,
But-
God says Bible is false and true at the same time.
And according to his point of view, you have said that he is not limited by logical understanding or kind of thing, our logic. So you have said that God is not bound by our logic or kind of thing, coherence, sense of coherence kind of thing. And then now when we are asking about your understanding of God, whether that concept allows you to have God different forms, then you are saying no, God cannot create this
Well,
type
I
of
have
confusion
yet
or kind
to-
of thing.
I have yet
Do
to
you
read.
see? So
I have yet to read a book where He would do that. But right now,
He could have done it already, right? He could have done. He
Yeah.
could have given you the Bible, which is actually false, but tells you it's true.
He could have done it.
Yeah. So how do you know He hasn't done that? How can you be certain
Again,
He
we're
hasn't
going-
done
we're
that?
going back and forth
No.
because I'm saying-
How can you be certain He hasn't done that? Because you believe
like I
He could
said,
have.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to say. But I'm saying, how are you certain that He hasn't done it?
What you're saying is now an assumption.
No. I want to know, how are you certain that He hasn't done exactly that? In fact, He is Shiva, Parvati, and Ganesh. How are you
It
certain?
goes against His nature to be that knows.
You said he can go against his nature.
Yeah, he
Yeah, but that's the thing. You
can change his
I'm
nature.
saying he can do it, but I'm saying he wouldn't do it as well. See,
Are you telling him what to do or not to do?
no, that's
Right.
that's your attitude. What I'm saying is that just because someone has the ability to do something doesn't mean they would do it. And that's what I keep saying. That's the point I keep trying to make.
So how do you know that God will follow your logic that he will not do? Your understanding, according to
So
you have
my
said
logic
that you
though.
cannot. No, you are putting those meanings.
You're limiting God by saying
No,
he
you
wouldn't
were-
do.
no, you two are limiting
Did
him
you
by
not
saying he
limit?
can't do it.
Did you
I'm
not
not
limit God by saying he wouldn't do it?
But we're not just then.
No, you just said he wouldn't do it.
According to the Bible.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wouldn't do
So
it.
you are limiting him.
No, see again.
Isn't that a limit?
No, see again.
No,
wouldn't.
can suppose he has said this in Bible that he will not do these works.
I've been very clear.
Can he violate his promise?
I've been very
Can
clear
God
that
can God violate his
would do
promise?
something. He's not
Okay,
the
can
same.
God violate his promise?
Can he violate his promise? Yeah.
So why you have no basis, but you cannot claim that in Bible God has promised that he will not change his nature kind of thing, because he can
How do
change.
you know Bible is corrupted?
He could lie,
How
yeah,
do you
according
know
to
Bible
you.
is corrupted?
He could lie.
Who could lie?
Yeah, he
God?
He could go against his nature.
Yeah,
like
so he
God.
could have lied and said the Bible is what you're supposed to follow. How
lied?
can you
Who
be
lied?
certain that he hasn't done that?
See again, we
Allah is the best of the deceiver.
keep going back and
He
forth.
lies.
It's
but-
not getting back and forth.
We are showing your how
It's
how
the-
your argument leads you towards absurdity and this
I'm
kind of.
saying that
Yeah.
you are limiting God by saying that he can't
We're not
do
limiting
certain
God.
things.
We are saying God is what he is. The moment you make God what he's not, that's when the problem starts.
That's what you have made.
Yeah?
That's what
We're
you
saying
have
God
made in
is
Islam.
what he is, but you're saying God can be other than what he is.
Yeah, but we agree that he's all powerful. That's what we
No,
agree on.
your understanding of all powerfulness,
Brother.
I don't agree with. We don't agree with. Because all powerfulness doesn't mean you become less than all powerful. That's not being all powerful.
The word powerful has a certain meaning, and it negates the concept of not having power. You know, certainly. So
Do you
that's
follow
why-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already discussed.
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
think we're
So
just
then,
going
then,
back
no,
and
no,
forth,
then,
but
then you cannot
we
say
have a-
God can exercise his power
we have
to
a-
be not powerful.
We have a different idea of
No,
what
do- do-
constitutes as that being
What's your name, sorry, again?
Samuel.
Samuel, I'm Mansur. This is Brother Safwan. Samuel,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. Pleasure speaking to you. When we say God is powerful, it doesn't mean power means to be not powerful. When you affirm power, you know what power possessor means. But you strip it at the same time, that's not being meaningful. We have to be meaningful in what we discuss and what we understand and what we believe about God. That's why in Islam we have certainty that God is all the truth and always speaking the truth, never would lie.
But I'm not going against him. I'm not
It's
saying
not
he's
about
not-
could.
I'm not saying he
The
doesn't-
possibility, look, the possibility of this could doesn't even come into the equation. Why? Because he has a nature that is to be always truthful. But you are saying God can go against his nature. We're saying no. God doesn't go against his nature. It doesn't befit him to go against his nature
saying, but
because
then-
God is not a deficient entity.
But me saying he has the ability to do it, I'm saying he would do it though, go against his nature. And the thing you're left with, if God is all powerful, then that means he can do everything. You see, that's the conundrum that we're left with. If you say that he can't do everything, then you're limiting God. That's what I'm
So
saying.
basically you're saying God can be non-God.
He can be not God and not God at the same time.
No, not God. He can be non-God if he wanted to. Transform himself into a non-God.
If he was to change his nature, yeah, he could do that. But that's not me saying he would do that though. I'm just saying he could.
Is
because
limitation
it's
bad thing?
It's what?
Is limitation always bad?
Not necessarily, but when you say that
Are some limitations which are good?
it's what?
Are there some limitations which are good?
Not for God, no, because then he wouldn't be all powerful. God can't be limited.
Are there some limitations? No.
But from who specific? For who though?
No. So
For,
my
me or God? Us or God?
I'm saying that you are meaning that limitations mean
For
limitations
God,
mean
it's bad, yeah.
limitations mean being against all powerfulness.
So that's all right.
Limitations
Yeah.
is equal to against of all powerfulness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because if God has limitations, then he wouldn't be God.
Yeah. So you are equating limitlessness is equal to powerfulness.
No, I'm not creating that goes in fact what you're doing.
No,
the
you are
opposite.
doing that.
No, I'm saying the opposite.
You are saying no.
The moment you limit God, you're saying that's being not God. So you can't limit God. That's your understanding of this.
Of
Is
power and
Yeah.
limitation opposite to each other.
each
right?
other.
So that's not how we define limitation and power.
And
Power
you
is
talk
different
about the
thing.
tenth Psalm, I'm
Limitation is a
saying-
different thing.
If that would be the situation after he limits himself. Yeah.
Do you believe God is perfect?
But one second, let me just address this one.
No, this isn't related. Perfection, an attribute of perfection. Think about it. Do you think that God is perfect or God is
God is
imperfect?
perfect. Yeah.
Is he perfect all the time?
Yeah.
So the moment you have limitation in God, like less power, does he remain perfect?
No, because
If the moment
you're
no, think about it. The
you're
moment you
repeating what I've
introduce being ignorant in his knowledge, that's being imperfect. So perfection will now decide against being less powerful. You can't bring powerful to say God is God because he has power to do all things. I'm bringing against you his perfection. His perfection will make sure that God doesn't become less than all powerful, less than all knowledgeable, because he's perfect. His nature of powerfulness, his nature of being perfect, will ensure that there is no kind of deficiency and weaknesses and limitations. Being less powerful, being less knowledgeable, these are all weaknesses and limitations. If you affirm God is perfect, then you have to abandon all of these things that you're thinking about. Let's leave it there. I think that's a point to reflect on.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine, but
Yeah.
it's nice talking about. Yeah.
Nice to take it to you, Samuel. You take care. Perhaps you can talk another time.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.